Hello! Right, okay, the colours we're going to use today are maroon, we've got burnt sienna, we've got alizarin crimson and mauve taupe, and we've got some medium-sized brushes, and we are going to do these leaf shapes. So just grabbing some colour and my medium-sized brush, adding these leaves on, and then putting the stems onto these leaves. Using the tip of the brush here to make like a star little shape, and then just adding some circles here and there, just alternating the colour as I go, not really thinking about it, just putting some little marks down. And I'm going to make these into flowers, so I'm putting centres in and then letting it dry a little bit and then adding some more. So I've got some little round loops I've added here because I quite like doing those, and some darker maroon red going around the centre of those flowers there. We are going to be using some pen a little bit later, so if you sort of think to yourself the darker colours, the lighter pen will go on, and the lighter colours you can put your black pen or darker coloured pens on. So that might help you in the composition when you're thinking about what colour shall I put where, or you may just want to do it off the cuff and just think, well, we'll see what happens once I've got the colour down. Flowers can be quite tricky to paint if you're thinking of a particular variety, but these stylized flowers, they're quite easy to do because you're just putting little circular blocks of color down, and you're going to be using your pens to distinguish all of those lovely little petals, and that's a lot easier to approach it with doing it with a pen than it is with the paint. I've gone with a warm summery palette of pinks, purples and oranges for this piece, but you can create cool winter blooms by using pale greens, icy blues. I've used a mix of colours today, some from the Kuretake 48 set and some from the Art Nouveau set. But use your favourite colours, whatever colours you've got, just get them down on the page and see how that looks. It's always great to experiment with your colours and see which colours go with what. Maybe go for opposite sides of the colour wheel, that'd be quite interesting. So I've let the paint dry and I've got my fine liners. I've got white acrylic pen and I've got a silver uniball pen and a white uniball pen here, and I'm just having a look at what I've got on the page and just adding some little marks, so some little round circles there, some little lines, just alternating as I go. Just outlining these little marks that I made with the side of the brush, and then just adding some little round circles here. And as you can see, it slowly builds up this picture of a beautiful little flower. Doesn't look like much when you've just got circles of paint, but as soon as you add that pen, it really does come into a lovely flowery shape. There are some fantastic metallic watercolors out there, and I have used on here the Kuretake metallic silver white paint, but I do find that using the gel ink pens, the metallic gel ink pens, just add that little bit more detail that you need, and a lot more controllable than your paintbrush, and you can add that fine detail to just give your picture a little bit more detail. So again, this comes under an analog palette, colour palette that we've used today, just because all of these colours are on the same side of the colour wheel. So it gives a more harmonious kind of effect. As I said earlier, you may want to go for something that pops against each other, so opposite sides of the colour wheel, greens and oranges, pinks and blues. I think it's just a personal choice really, or maybe you'll want to do a few of these and do like a little experiment. Which ones do you like? Do you like an analog kind of palette, or do you like opposite sides of the colour wheel where the colours bounce off each other? So the black fine liner works really well for adding the detail, and you can use any size you want. This one is a particularly fine one, but I use anything from a 0.1 mil up to a 0.8 mil, whatever I can grab to hand really. I don't really think about it, I just grab a pen, hope it works, and then just start adding the detail. I usually use cold pressed watercolor paper just because I like it for the abstracts. You could use hot press, which is a very smooth surface, very good if you want to do fine botanicals with your paintbrush. But because these are a little bit more abstract shapes, I find that the cold pressed watercolor paper just lends itself to just adding that little bit of texture. So I tend to use that cold pressed 300 grams cold pressed watercolor paper. I also like to tape down my borders, so taping it down onto a board so that I can get a nice defined edge on my painting when I peel away that tape. It just means that if you don't want to frame your picture, you've already got that natural frame and you can just put your little picture up on the side and admire it once you've finished it. Peeling away the tape now, and you can see the border here. I think that's worked really well. I really quite like this, but when I looked at this I did think to myself, well, does it need a little bit more, because the paint doesn't actually go to the edges apart from the little flowers. So I'm going to bring it up to the camera for you, and then we're going to add a border. So I think that's turned out quite well and really like that. But then I decided to grab a ruler, my black fine liner, and just outline the edges. So I want to make it look like a frame. So I think that leaves a lovely border and it really sets off your picture lovely. So I hope you like this and I hope you get to try, and if you like this, maybe you'll consider liking and subscribing. Maybe you'll leave me a message and I can come straight back to you. Love to hear what you're up to. Okay, well, thanks so much for watching and hope to see you again soon. Okay, have a great day. Bye.